What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Rockin' with the Stars. I'm your host, Petra Ude, and on this episode, we'll be talking about the art of identity switching with a sprinkle of influence. Come rock with me and enjoy the show. If you're tuning in, I'm sure you already finished watching season one, episode one of The Evolution of Petra. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you haven't already watched it, go ahead and watch that and then come back to this audio recording, and then you'll be able to understand everything that I am going to talk about here. All right. So, um, throughout the video, like even making the video, um, first thing first, I want to go ahead and say that I'm okay with everything that has happened in my life. I'm perfectly okay with everything. I've come to terms with it. I've accepted everything that has happened because I believe that everything happens for a reason, right? So a lot of the things that we go through in life, there is a reason that things happen. Um, and those it's usually a lesson that you have to learn from in order to get to next level, right? So um throughout the whole concept of season one is me flowing through the motions, right? So me flowing through life, trying to figure out who I am. As you can see, I've gone through different friendships. I've experienced not everything that I've liked to experience, but I've experienced like the whole party phase, going to clubs and stuff like that. Because I'm a person that I like to try things, right? I would like to try things out before I make a decision on whether it's for me or whether it's not for me anymore. So I'm always the friend that would like to try new things and to see if it's the best fit for me, right? So as you can see, I've done the whole partying and I definitely enjoyed that stage of my life. But that's why it's called an evolution, right? So things that I once liked is totally different from what I like now because I already got all of that out of my system. And it was really short lived. It wasn't like years on years. It might look like that on the video, but those events that took place, those there was like a huge bulk of time that passed between each one of those events. So yeah, in the video, it just looks like I was just out here partying, partying, partying. But yeah, no, that's not the case. But yeah, so I wanted to touch on like, the ideas of friendships and even just the term of friendships being a forever thing, right? And throughout the years, I even noticed, even looking back on the videos that I have in my camera roll, and me just saying, like, um, for life, or like, this is for life, like, this friendship will be for life. And as I reflect back and I notice, like, when I say that term, like, this friendship will be for life, like, I know this is for a life thing. I swear, the universe, God, my ancestors, they tend to go ahead and show me like, it ain't for life. Because as soon as I utter those words, the universe just kind of like snaps me back into reality and like, no, I'm gonna show you why this is not for life. This is for a season. This is temporary. And that's why I've always, even, straight out of high school, I've always said, like, people come and go because essentially people do come and go and it's okay. Like, I've come to terms with that. I'm not the type of person where I'm just like, butt hurt about friendships that end or friendships that I no longer resonate with anymore. Because at the end of the day, this whole journey of ours is to grow. You can't stay like basically a child forever, right? You have When you grow up, you will learn to like different things. You'll adapt to different things, and the same things that you once liked in the past, you no longer like anymore, and that's okay. That's growth. So as I look back on these friendships, I have no beef with anybody um, that I portrayed in this video, because if I did have beef, that would mean that like I cared. And if you did get to the ending of the video, you might see that a little sprinkle of shade. And I say a little sprinkle, it's not even like shade. It's just like I put it as like accountability, like if I'm gonna give you guys the raw, the real, I can't pick and choose you know, what information I'm gonna hold close when the shit happened to me, right? So it's like it would do me a disservice if I'm not being completely 100% honest on things that happened, in the past, because it was like a big bulk of what I went through. And a lot of the things that kind of transpired as far as like losing like all of the people that I thought were my friends. And the roommate situation, that was like a big part of my life. And I say a big part of my life because I'm spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, and that was a spiritual time. Like that was a huge spiritual time for me. Um, and if the people that were in my life at that time, a lot of them wouldn't be able to even understand what exactly was going on because a lot of things were happening around in that time, and it was literally my spiritual awakening. Well, I've had about like two spiritual awakenings, but that was definitely a two or three spiritual awakenings, but that was one of like the biggest one that I had. And so yeah, so if I would like to dive in and talk more about my spiritual journey, I feel like I had to include that portion of things, and not to be petty or anything like that, because um yeah, no, it's perfectly okay. I've already like, forgiven that person, and it's not even on no, like I had to go talk and we talk it out or anything. No. It just is what it is, right? So, um, and no, I didn't get the $700, but it's okay. It is perfectly okay. I know, going forward, like that, like when I went through that, and I look back, and I noticed that that's exactly what I had to go through. And it kind of just pushed me, and it kind of opened my eyes as well, because me flowing through the motions of life, I had to learn that everyone is not like me, right? So, and that was a huge lesson for me to learn, because everyone would not think the same as me. Everyone would not, care as much as I do. And being in that situation, um, being around people who really necessarily did not really take others into consideration, or didn't really care too much about what other people thought or anything like that, it taught me to be selfish with my energy. It taught me to pour more into myself than to, overexert my energy to other people around me and stuff like that. So that's why, like, I know that was a big lesson. It was a huge lesson that I had to learn. And if, um, I don't know if some people remember even just how my posts were, um, during that time, I was talking about, I learned because I was up close. I was up close and personal to understand the mind of someone who does not care. And that term, as you've heard in the video, is narcissism. And I'm not big on putting labels on things and stuff like that, but I am big on calling it what it is. And that's exactly what the fuck it is. So you can look up on Google and you can see what the fuck a narcissist is, and they'll tell you all the qualities of a narcissist, right? And this is not to go around calling everybody a narcissist and stuff like that. I was in that apartment for 6 months. That was a good enough time for me to look at patterns, for me to understand someone through habits. So that's why I'm able to come to that conclusion, um, and speak on it. But yeah, and that was 2 years ago. So it took me a lot to kind of like silently take on, what people wanted to think of me and stuff like that, and kind of just like allow them to project and allow them to place the blame on me on why they did what they did. Because I'm sure there was a lot of going on social media and dragging my name, which I didn't even see because I didn't really care to see. It was just more so like God knows my heart. God seen it. Like He knows. He's heard the conversations that were talked on about me, without me being in a room. He knew all of that. So it's like a lot of the times I don't even need to, be in the room to know somebody is talking about me. That's why I allow people to tell on themselves. And that situation, I'll definitely get more into it on like how everything kind of happened because it was so divinely guided. It was just like that's why I'm very very I'm so grateful for everything, and I'm so grateful um for where I am at in my life currently. Yeah, because the shit had to happen. And that was around a time where um I learned a lot about myself. Obviously, I'm still learning about myself, but I learned a lot about myself. And throughout those different types of friendships that I did have, I appreciate that as well because they allowed me to figure out who Petra is. Like, what does Petra like? What doesn't she like? You know? So that's why I say, like, it was an evolution. It was me growing. Like, now, those type of things, like, I'm not the type of person to just go out clubbing. Like, it's just not my, tea. Like, it's not my cup of tea. I'm more of, nature. Like, I'm more of movie night, chilling at home, game night, karaoke. I'm more of that. Very more intimate, close settings of us of people like just enjoying each other's companies. And I feel like just clubbing was just very much like surface level, you know. I don't know even the word to even say, but it was very much surface level. It didn't really hit me as, other people probably would have hit. But a lot of the times, like, even just the club in itself, like clubbing, I've noticed that a lot of people that spend a lot of time in the club, not no judgment or anything like that. But a lot of times, a lot of people that spend a lot of times in the clubs, those are people that can't really sit with themselves and with their emotions and are able to like decipher what exactly is their emotions and why they feel the way they feel. So it's literally a coping mechanism to kind of escape from their emotions because if they were able to sit alone in a dark room and sit with themselves, they'll probably go crazy because of just so much thoughts that are, running through their minds that they're not able to even like um, feel through their emotions. It will literally consume them. So that's why, like, I notice like there's periods of time in my life where I know I need to go through isolation, where I literally need, like, my body needs isolation because being surrounded by so many people and so many energies, like we're gonna talk about energies as well because that's a huge thing. But being surrounded by a lot of energies, it can be very consuming. It can be a lot because you can take on other people's emotions and other people's energies, and you wouldn't even understand why you feel the way you feel, right? Because those are not your emotions. So I've noticed I would go to the clubs, but after a certain period of time, like I'm ready to go home. Like I'm not about to be here until 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I need to go home. I need to recharge. I need to sit with myself and, and decipher what my emotions are and what other people's emotions are. So that's why like that experience I definitely enjoyed the experience while it lasts. And no, I'm not close with most of the people, well, I want to say mainly all the people that were in that video, but there's also no bad blood at all. Like there's too much energy to like fault them because only God knows what the plan is for us, and He knows um, that some people are literally just in your life to teach you a lesson. So that's why I say it's a lot of temporary people, and it's up to you to decipher what people are temporary and what people are actually in your life for life, you know? And I'm still navigating through that as well because I know for me, and when it comes to friendships, I don't necessarily just hop into different friendships. I more so, what happens with me is that I outgrow, I would say, yes, I outgrow friendships pretty fast, like faster than others, because I'm always wanting to evolve. Like I'm always wanting to know more about myself, not just, oh, I like this and this is what I would like forever. No, I'm sure I'll have many other interests in the future. And I'm always wanting to try new things. I'm always wanting to step outside of my comfort zone. And I feel like a lot of the people that I've come across, a lot of people they're comfortable. That's the word. They're comfortable with the same routines over and over again, whether it's that job, that you've been there for 15 years, doing the same thing over and over again, or whether it's going to the club every night, the same thing over and over again, seeing the same people over and over again. And I feel like over the years, I'm kind of like, okay, like I'm kind of tired of this same routine. But other people are kind of like comfortable being stagnant. And when I see that and I notice that, then I know that, okay, well, I know I got to go over here then. You can stay in this box that you've made for yourself, but I would gladly take myself out of this box that you've created and I'll go over here. But whenever you're ready, I'll be over here so you can go ahead and, if you like, you can join me, but I'm going to be over there, and I've noticed that a lot in a lot of the friendships that I've had. And it's like, it's hard for people to actually see it because they're in it. And that's okay. Like, I don't fault it. It's just when I'm able to see it, I know there's something that I have to do. And um, yeah, and I feel like not a lot of people will take action on it. They just allow the same thing to continue to happen. Like it's a matrix, literally. And I feel like I'm the person that always has to try to wake people up because there's more to life than going to the same old job or doing the same thing over and over again. There's so much more to life, and a lot of people don't can't see that because they're in it. So that's why I always take a risk. I'm always a person to jump in head first, and I'm okay with whatever, consequences come my way because at the end of the day, it's not really consequences. Those are just lessons that I needed to learn. So that's why I wanted to get out the house and get my apartment, you know, and just try things that weren't really looked at as the norm in my parents' eyes. Like I was just breaking out the house, like nobody could keep me in here because I knew there were things that I just knew there were things that I wanted to learn and they weren't teaching me things that I needed to learn. So if I feel like people are not teaching me what things that I should learn, like um, how to pay bills, how to save money, all these type of things that we are supposed to learn. These are subjects that are supposed to be in school. Um, but yeah, I felt like if I'm not getting if I'm not getting that knowledge, then I'm gonna seek that knowledge myself. So yeah, I got into an apartment. Yeah, I got the knowledge that I needed. And hell, it was rough. It was really rocky. It was one of the I was in those spaces where depression kicked in, anxiety kicked in, fear kicked in, and we're gonna talk about all of those in upcoming episodes as well. But it was really like it was an eye-opening experience. So that's why, like, that's why I'm urge people to actually like, you know, step outside of your comfort zone, try shit, try new things. Like, yeah, it's gonna be, you might hit rock bottom, but at the end of the day, you hitting rock bottom, there's a lesson to learn while you're at the bottom. And then also know that just because you're at rock bottom doesn't mean that you're there for life. It's always temporary. Think back around a time where you literally had nothing. You had no money. You ain't had no food. You ain't had nothing. You was literally rock bottom. Look where you're at now. That shit was temporary, right? Like, and you, some kind of way, you magically found a way out of that. So that's why, like, I'm the way that I am. Like, I know whatever happens is for a reason. My path is divinely guided. I was where I was, that was the place I was supposed to be to receive that lesson. Where I'm going, that's I'm gonna end up exactly where I need to go, you know? And that's why I appreciate every moment of my life. Yes, I'm looking back on everything that's happened, but I'm not soaking in it like, oh, she did this to me. This friendship ended like this because of this. No. At the end of the day, that shit happened for a reason. And I know not everyone can come with me. And that's what I had to learn as well. Not everyone is able to go with me because where I'm going is going to be full of abundance. And I know that not everyone can come with me because not everyone wants to see you win. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. So you have to decipher through these people that you keep surrounded by you to cut them off and leave them where they're at. Not everyone is out to get you as well, but also not everyone is helping you grow. And that's what we're trying to do. Like, we're trying to grow, we're trying to evolve, we're trying to, you know, make it out here. So if you're trying to do that, you can't have someone who's stunting your growth, who's doing the same thing over and over again. You have to be the one to go. You have the one you have to be the one to set that example. And whenever those people that want to do the same thing over and over again, whenever they see you do it, that's when hopefully it clicks into in their head and be like, okay, well yeah, if she can do it, I can do it, right? Because sometimes and that's just what it is. Like, there's followers and there's leaders. And that's just how the world is created at the end of the day. I've always been a leader at the end of the day. I've always been a person with originality. I've always been the person who, I'm not about to just do what somebody else is doing just because they doing it. No, I'm gonna do it because I want to fucking do it. But you got to understand that there's also followers, and it's okay. Know your placement and know their placement. Not everybody is going to be like you. So if you know that it's for a reason. Everything is literally for a reason. And sometimes you're going to have to be the first one to do it. Sometimes you're going to have to be the first one in your family to get to it. You're going to have to be the only one in your friend group to succeed. It was made for you in that way. And that's okay. It's going to be bittersweet to, like, let go of your old life or let go of those memories. But at the end of the day, it's going to be fine. Everything is all going to work out okay. You're going to be better. You're going to be more at peace in the end, looking back on everything that you've gone through. So that's all I'm going to touch on today. I'm excited on the journey and I'm excited to share a lot of the knowledge that I do know and that I've learned along in life. And I'm excited to touch on a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to talk on. Hopefully the audio was a little bit better. I had to keep moving it around because I hear a little bit being staticky. And I did just get a new microphone, so I'm really, really excited. So I'm gonna tamper with it a lot just so it can make the audio experience a lot better for you guys. But thank you so much for tuning in to Rocking with the Stars, and stay tuned for more episodes.